Alright guys, here's why not to play Hogwarts Legacy. It's out in like 2 weeks or something. February 10th, whenever that is. Let's have a look.
Who are considering purchasing Hogwarts Legacy video game know that they shouldn't. While this statement is rather controversial, it is not without a base. So why would there be a reason to ask that you boycott the upcoming Hogwarts video game? Let's find out in this video, so make sure you stick with me to the end. So without any further delay, let's get into the video. The controversy surrounding the Hogwarts Legacy video game. The controversy surrounding J.K. Rowling has persisted for years now. The author of the Harry Potter saga.
She wrote the book. She is the reason Harry Potter exists. It's a game. Lots of business people, lots of top dogs, top G's, are pricks. Continue.
Saga is once again in the spotlight, and many internet users are calling for a boycott of the Hogwarts Legacy game. Here we go again. Very often when a Harry Potter film is broadcast on TV, there is an outpouring of hatred on social networks concerning J.K. Rowling and her opinion.
Does anyone even care what she says anymore? Like, she was relevant when Harry Potter was big. Now it's nostalgic almost. So if anything, playing the game's more of a good injection of nostalgia into life. If I'm being a wizard, I'm not thinking of transphobia or anything else other than being a wizard in a game, not on Twitter.
Which are deemed transphobic, anti-Semitic, and homophobic. In this video, we will simply try to explain to you why today the author is in the spotlight and why some internet users are calling for a boycott of Hogwarts Legacy video game, the famous open-world game that will take place 100 years before the adventures of the bespectacled wizard.
It's never going to happen. Some people might on the morals, but are the gamers' morals that much? Do we think past, oh, this is good game? I know apart from like when your data gets stolen unintentionally or intentionally, when you have to sign into the anti-cheats and such, but the entire time I'm going to be playing this, I'm going to be thinking, oh, I'm a wizard. This is fun. I'm just going to treat it like every other game.
The game is set in the Wizarding World universe, a universe based on Fantastic Beasts films and the Harry Potter series.
Which is sick, because AAA titles in general last year were terrible in my eyes, and I need something. I don't care if she gets a percentage. I need something.
Both of which are the intellectual property of J.K. Rowling, our mediocre national hero. Why boycott the Hogwarts Legacy? There were many ways to think about J.K. Rowling. People who support the author no matter what, those who don't like what she says but love Harry Potter so much they forget the rest, those who find the statements of the author inadmissible, or those who call for a boycott so that no more cents from Harry Potter merchandise go into her pocket, etc. But what is reproached?
She's already a millionaire, if not probably even wealthier than that. And the funds will continue to grow because of how big Harry Potter has always been and will continue to be. Boycotting this game will do absolutely nothing to her. People are still going to play it. Lots of people, I assume. Well, I've heard the specs are quite high, so maybe not as many as I originally thought, but a lot of people are still going to play this game. And I don't think it being boycotted is going to happen unless the launch is extremely, like, I'm going to wait for the reviews just because of how system orientated this game actually is. It might be trash, I might eat my words, that's completely fine, but to boycott a game because one person's a prick, newsflash, your boss is a prick usually. Lots of people are pricks. She just so happens to have the platform that people take notice of it.
To J.K. Rowling very concretely. For several years now, the author has been in the crosshairs of a large number of internet users. Although there are still many more fans and people who side with J.K. Rowling in support, it is impossible to ignore, especially on Twitter, the communities who blame the writer for her behavior.
Especially on Twitter. I've got a Twitter. It's an absolute cesspit of politics. It's who's left, who's right, who's a centralist. I've got this opinion. I'm going to share it. Oh, ratioed. That is Twitter. Why are we even taking Twitter remarks? Obviously, when they've got a platform like she has, what she says does have volume to it. But in general, I can't stand Twitter.
Her words, and even some of her writings in the saga. J.K. Rowling's first big mistake was to post a message on Twitter in 2020 that obviously did not please the majority of internet users. Her tweet awkwardly said that to get your period, you had to be a biological woman. Following this,
which, not to get cancelled, is true. Unless she's put some snide remark on afterwards. What she says is true, and it is a weighted comment, obviously. But can't deny what she said is true.
This affair, many investigations were carried out about it, concluding then in waves of hatred or even disapproval by known actors of Harry Potter like Emma Watson. Long considered one of the most active feminists in the world, J.K. Rowling quickly descended from her pedestal and more violent accusations began to emerge. Among the most controversial criticisms, according to internet users, we find the supposed way the author describes the goblins in the Harry Potter saga. With a long nose and unconditional love of money, Gringotts Bank, this visibly represents an anti-Semitic caricature of Jews, with some comparing the author to Hitler.
Could be, might not be. It's like the Bored Apes kind of situation with them all being racist. We just don't know. I mean, who are we to judge where people get inspiration from? It's not like Kanye, where he just openly went and said Hitler was great. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. It's just a character in a book, in a film. People delve way too deep into things these days.
Look at Warner Brothers and Avalanche Software response to the controversy. Avalanche Software is developing Hogwarts Legacy, and Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment is publishing it. Rowling is now taking over from Katie Hopkins as the country's most prominent reactionary.
Yeah, she is a prick. No denying that. I imagine if she went back in time, she'd have kept it to herself. But she didn't, and here we are in 2023.
It's strange that Warner Brothers would use Rowling's intellectual property to create anything, a move likely
because money. Harry Potter sells, hence why a boycott will not work.
To bring her significant profit. What is most blamed on J.K. Rowling is, of course, her alleged transphobia and homophobia. So much so that communities want to boycott the Hogwarts Legacy video game so that no cents are paid to her. Already in March 2022, a few weeks after the long video gameplay trailer was presented to the general public, the writer received multiple death threats.
Don't send death threats to anyone. It's not cool. And I'm assuming half of these people don't even care about what she's been accused of and has tweeted. I mean, some people will, but a majority, I wouldn't say a majority, but a good amount of them will just be doing it for the hype train. It's Twitter, after all. Everyone's got to get their opinion out.
To deal with these controversies, the developers then insisted that the game would allow players to customize their character's voice, body type, and gender. However, you will have to choose between wizard and witch for the naming, how the NPCs address you in the game, and the placement in the dormitories of Hogwarts.
That's the same as every other game, unless there's elves and different races involved. It's literally the same in every other game.
By starting the game, the player will be able to create his character from head to toe and assign him a male or female voice regardless of the gender chosen. This kind of customization is increasingly common in recent video games and is not extraordinary, but it is very important to note that the Hogwarts Legacy team is doing its best to show future players that dramas are not related to the game.
They're not at all. She'll have had absolutely zero impact other than writing the books before the Bible was invented, when I was like 5.
On the official site and in communications, it is also regularly reminded that J.K. Rowling has nothing to do with the development of Hogwarts Legacy video game, although the universe is taken from her work. By this statement, Avalanche wants to show that its team of developers should not be punished for the words of the writer. When asked what J.K. Rowling's involvement in the game is, and if it's a new J.K. Rowling story, they answer that J.K. Rowling was not involved in the creation of the game. However, her extraordinary body of writing is the basis of all Wizarding World projects. They concluded by saying that it is not a new J.K. Rowling story. This is not very reassuring. Warner Brothers' vague statement regarding inclusive culture, as well as the responsibility for fostering empathy and advocating understanding of all peoples, may be the same. On the Warner Brothers side, it should be remembered that at the end of 2021, the company had hesitated to publish the Hogwarts Legacy video gameplay trailer and had waited until February 2022 because the controversy around J.K. Rowling was still far too present.
Every company is going to do that. They don't want the drama because, like they previously said, there's nothing to do with her other than, yeah, it is based on her. Lots of writers of popular things have turned out to be dickheads, crackheads, racists, all sorts. This is just another one of them. Doesn't stop their work being seen as influential to a lot of people because it's not. If you read Harry Potter, you don't think of J.K. Rowling while you're reading it. You don't think, oh, she's done such a good job here. You're immersed in the story that she's created. Do you know what I mean?
Today, while the boycott is back, the new director of WB wanted to speak to the media Axios. In short, the controversy will obviously still be ongoing, and it seems that only two choices are possible now: boycott or finance, a situation that many Potterheads see with a very bad eye, of course. And who would like internet users to make the difference between the game developed by a team and the author's transphobic comments? Warner Brothers' decision not to stop the game is all the more surprising, considering the behavior of Troy Levitt, a retired senior producer at Hogwarts Legacy, in his YouTube videos. Levitt calls the hashtag #MeToo movement a moral panic and defends John Lasseter, Pixar boss who has been accused of sexual harassment. His videos also defended Gamergate, which is a reactionary movement encouraging harassment of marginalized people and sexual harassment. But why has Warner Brothers not responded to the request? Is it that the responsibility for fostering empathy and advocating understanding of all communities and all people has gone? Open Democracy asked Warner Brothers if any disciplinary action had been taken against Levitt or if Levitt's claims regarding the company were true. However, they are yet to respond.
They're seeing dollar signs. That's what they're seeing. Lots of people who play this game, especially on consoles. No matter if the big companies, the big wigs can just sweep it under a rug, at least till the release date, which they've probably done. Not everyone's going to be researching this game. Not everyone's going to be looking into the drama. A lot of people are going to play this game, not know anything about all this that's happened. And Warner Brothers are going to take their cut of it. It is just going to be what happens.
Let's look at the issue of anti-Semitic tropes. Hogwarts Legacy, which is set in the Wizarding World universe of Harry Potter, elevates its anti-Semitic tropes. The villains are beady-eyed, hook-nosed goblin bankers. J.K. Rowling uses anti-Semitic tropes within her Wizarding World universe. J.K. Rowling has made numerous and public demeaning comments about trans people and opposed equality. J.K. Rowling...
Again, yeah, she's an absolute prick. By all means, cancel culture straight on her, but the game, if the reviews aren't too bad, I know it's going to get... If it gets review bombed, I probably won't buy it. But if people are saying it's okay, give it a go. See what it's like. I've got 2 hours to refund it at the end of the day.
Rowling also publicly opposed reform to the Gender Recognition Act in order to reduce the time required for trans individuals to receive a certificate of gender recognition. Even worse, she wrote a troublingly trans misogynistic novel called Troubled Blood, in which a cis woman dresses up as a female to murder other cis women. The trope that trans women are femicidal males dressed as women to murder cis women is dangerous. It has been used as a way to deny trans women the right to access resources and services. Additionally, it can increase policing, invasiveness, and violence towards trans women.
Yeah, she's just like a boomer piece of shit, I think. Like, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she, no, actually, no, she's far too cultured. Yeah, she's just an old bid, isn't she? Piece of shit, just not with the times. Has her opinion, posts it on Twitter. I don't care about the outrage, I'm a millionaire. Yeah. But leave Harry Potter out of this, I guess. I at least want to try the game.
Rowling's claim of believing in trans rights is a lie. These comments are not only disturbing, but have real-world consequences. Anti-LGBTQ politicians even use them to block the U.S. Senate's consideration of the Equality Act. It is a civil rights bill to protect people against discrimination on the grounds of their sexual orientation, as well as their gender identity. Rowling is obsessed with trans women. So why?
I'd say what really probably hurts is, like, my generation were probably one of the... I know the issue of identification has been going on for a long time. My generation were the ones that kind of... And the generation after me. You know, it's a recent thing. It's a very recent movement. And we all grew up watching Harry Potter and going to the cinemas to see it. And it's on at Christmas every year. So we've kind of got invested in it. And then she's come out to be a piece of shit. So I can understand where people's frustration's coming from. For real.
Why would someone want to buy new media that uses the Harry Potter intellectual property? Well, if you're stuck between buying or playing something new and reactionary, then I have your answer. Simply play a different game. In other news, EA's working on a new narrative campaign for Battlefield. EA has established a new Battlefield.
I mean, they're completely different sorts of games. One's a open world MMO. Not an MMO, sorry, open world, kind of run around, do things, quests and stuff. Battlefield's a first-person shooter, very big first-person shooter, which has been absolute dog water for the past, like, 2-3 years. Look at the latest release. I have no faith in Battlefield to release a new game, or Call of Duty. This is why people are going to play Hogwarts Legacy, because the AAA scene, sorry, is absolutely turd at the moment. You name a game in 2023 that came out that was, you know, noteworthy AAA title, and say 2022, sorry. And again, 2023 so far isn't looking bright. So the competition just isn't there. People are going to play it just because they're bored. You can only replay Witcher 3, Fallout 4, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Dark Souls, Elder Scrolls so many times. You have to move on, unfortunately.
Studio that will be working on a narrative campaign for the franchise. The studio, Ridgeline Games, is based in Kirkland, Washington, and is headed up by Halo co-creator Marcus Leto, according to a press release. The company didn't share details about what this new experience might be about, when it might be released, or what platforms it will be available for. But the promise of a dedicated narrative campaign could be good news for Battlefield fans who were disappointed that the live service Battlefield 2042, which had a poorly received launch in November, didn't have a campaign mode of its own. And as EA continues to push further into live service games, such as the new Skate, it's good to see that the company is still investing in more narratively focused experiences. So that concludes today's video.
Yeah, he's got some valid points. She's a piece of shit. I wouldn't hold your breath for Battlefield to be any good. Like I said, I'm going to give Harry Potter a go and not think about the piece of shit that invented it for a second. So, yeah, peace.